All right. So this is chapter 4. It starts from Jack's perspective. And yeah, let's see what's happening in chapter 4. By the way, I switched it to mirroring so that the audio will be more understandable because I realized that my accent sucks and it's really hard to follow. So now you have it from my own, I'm mirroring my phone. So this is how I listen to my books. I buy them paper, and then I have this app called Speechify that will read it for us, and we will comment it together. Let's start.
Jax. Who summoned me, I say, dragging out the words as I stride into my father's ornate office. The walls of the great and powerful Bay del Levine are lined with books I'm sure he's never actually read, and a monstrosity of a marble desk is centered against a floor-to-ceiling window overlooking the royal city. The sky is ink black, but gold sparks flicker and burst around the outer gates far below, the magical lights beckoning the choosing guests into the palace. You could have come more quickly, my father says. He stands on a raised step in front of a gilded trifold mirror, admiring himself as his tailor fusses around his ankles. I've heard that's an ailment for some. I cock an eyebrow at him. Age getting to you? He's almost as old as Lumathist itself, though he doesn't look it. All people in Lumathist age slowly after reaching maturity, thanks to magic the goddesses flooded the lands with when they first claimed Lumathist as their own. But when my mother, the goddess Evaluna, chose my father as her mate, she bestowed him with a drop of her power and made him immortal. His face only shows minimal signs of aging, a few wrinkles around his green eyes and snow white hair that he keeps short.
Okay.
He glares at me in the mirror, unamused. I slide my hands into my pockets, leaning against a pillar and propping one boot behind me. You're going with gold again, I see. I motion to his suit. It's clean, simple, not unlike mine, but the color is unspeakably garish. And you went with black, he says, with a condescending sneer. Shocking. Irritation rolls off him in waves. I can taste it on my tongue. The power in my blood rises, begging me to alter his mood. I quash the urge. Anytime I've even attempted it, he's checked me with his power, which is still infinitely more potent than mine. Dark and foreboding certainly attracts a mate, he continues sarcastically. Maybe this year will be different, a traitorous voice whispers.
By the way, this man is like really is a is an awful person. He is impossible to have a conversation with. He is like so narcissistic that is literally annoying just to listen to him and I hate him. Like he's a likable character. Right.
My ear. I bury it along with any hope I've ever had about powering my father. The tailor finishes, and Badal dismisses him with a flick of his wrist. The man practically runs from the room, skittish as a mouse. My father gives himself an approving look in the mirror before crossing to his desk. He scoops up his mask, made entirely of diamonds, and slides it over his eyes. Dialabo. If you called me up here for compliments on your outfit, you're wasting your time, old man. Watch your mouth. I smile, a sardonic, overstretched smile. The same smile that has been the last thing so many have seen before their deaths. The smile that earned me my nickname, the Nightmare. He has the decency to look unnerved. I called you up here to discuss tonight's event. Into 6 of these choosings, I cut him off.
No.
Nothing new to discuss. You and the other legends have failed for 6 years. He stalks over to me. We're eye to eye in height, but I can feel his power rising in the room. I shrug. I don't see your mate anywhere, I say. He raises a hand but stops before he lands the blow. If it was any other night than the choosing, I'd slap that smile right off your face. I laugh, slow and frigid. If my mother were truly here, she'd never allow him to harm me. She wouldn't have allowed him to turn into the bastard he has either. But she abandoned us long ago, along with my friends' mothers, the goddesses Tarina, Iridis, and Neph. It's your year, Badal says after a breath. He straightens his gold jacket, the shimmering fabric hanging well past his hips. Your turn to choose one for the legends. Try to pick one who will actually make it past a month this time. Yeah. What it means with that is that each year, one of the legends, which are these four semi-god, um, super handsome men that are children of human that had a relationship with a goddess. And so they are like hybrid. They are immortal as their fathers are because their mothers, that are goddesses, gave immortality to their fathers. And so, yeah, little parenthesis. He's a terrible father anyway. I hate him with all my being. Like, he's awful. Not our fault they get squeamish once 2 or more of us take her to bed at the same time, I argue, ignoring the sting in my gut. Not from any scorned affections I had for the previous potentials, but from the sheer terror that's overcome them all after barely getting to know us. So, yeah, each year, one of them has the job to pick a potential mate because they have to choose one mate for all four of them. So one woman to share between four men. Oh, I don't know if that's a woman's dream, but yeah, it is how it sounds. So this year is his year, Jax, which is his nickname is the Nightmare because he has the power of controlling other people's emotions. It's your fault, he says. You can tamp down your powers when all 4 of you are together with the potential. Why should we change who we are? The potential mate won't survive the Athenry if she can't even handle our collective powers, true, in or out of the bedroom. Beetle steps closer, and I shift off the pillar to meet him. You need to take this more seriously, he says. Now more than ever. Curious, I tilt my head. What are you keeping from me? Besides everything, the bastard. Ursna a draw. You know the state. I'm sorry about that, but this app sometimes read into blank, and I can do nothing about that. So yeah, I cannot even count it because maybe I can. Who knows? He grumbles. The goddesses in stasis can only remain and act as powerful wards while you and the legends offer them drops of your powers yearly. Those are the terms they set when they went to sleep decades ago to protect us. They wanted connection to their only sons to assure them that Lumathist is still worthy of their protection. Among the other important reasons to find a mate, they created the choosing for you four to find one and prove the royal traditions will hold. Guilt gnaws at my chest like a trapped rat. The last thing any of us want to do is let down our mothers. The legends, including myself, have been doing our duty to them since we came of age and into our own powers. Years ago, before then, our fathers handled the offerings. Fatal's sense of urgency raises my hackles. He's never been fully honest with me. I can taste the calculated lies he weaves daily. But what exactly he's lying about, I don't know. It's more important than ever that you find your mate, he continues, especially with the significant threat across the seas. You know how Arithmore hates us. And do you think your people will continue to serve you if they know their rulers can't appease their goddesses? People will turn on you the second they aren't being provided for, and then we'll have another rebellion on our hands. Arithmore would love the opportunity to ally with rebels. The people can smell weakness. Lumen.
So Ericmore is another kingdom which is north of Lumetist that obviously doesn't like Lumetist much and is looking for the right chance and opportunity to attack them.
This is not weak. Our mothers made sure of it, I snap. If your mothers hadn't written the rules of the choosing, I would simply audition girls until I found one who could actually tolerate the lot of you, he snaps, shaking his head. Lumethist may be strong, but you legends are making a mockery of our royal line. The power in my veins rumbles, demanding to be unleashed. I could make him terrified, make him believe his worst nightmares are tapping on his shoulders, sliding their fingers around his throat. My father smiles knowingly and flicks his hand. In an instant, I'm immobilized. My body is entirely under his control. You are weak, he whispers. Just because you and the other legends take care of the traitorous filth littering our streets doesn't make you powerful men. He releases me, tipping his chin, waiting. He wants a reaction, wants a fight. So, give him one. Has Arithmore been mobilizing? I ask as if he didn't just violate me again, didn't just use his power against his own son. Fatal smirks as if he's impressed. I know he isn't. Lumethist is the largest kingdom in the Crescent Sea. Laika and Cardraton are our allies to the south, and our biggest threat is Arithmore to the north. We've had a tentative peace with Arithmore for decades, but as the second largest realm, they are always in competition with us. They hate our monopoly on trade from Vlaica and Cardraton. If Arithmore's armies ever outmatched ours, they wouldn't hesitate to try to conquer us. Luckily, the goddess's dormant powers offer protection. Within our borders, making the idea of conquering us a fool's dream. Nothing concrete yet, Badel says. You know how they envy us. We need to keep it at envy and not ambition. Plus, there is always a concern of Demis organizing, ancestral. Right here, let me go back to here. You and the other kings either banished the Ashlands. Yeah, the ancestral Demis to the Ashlands. It's not perfect. Stripping them of all wealth and privilege and hope, or work them within an inch of their lives. Those Demi lines have been diluted to minimal powers, if any. There hasn't been a whisper of them scheming against the royals in centuries. You can't honestly view them as a threat. Submission says so. Another uprising doesn't happen. He motions toward so, scheming against the royals. Submission. Submission, he says so. We intend to keep their loyalty and another uprising doesn't happen. He motions toward the door. Finish getting dressed. I'll see you up there. Watch for my cues on who to pick. If you listen this time, perhaps you'll actually choose someone correctly. The room, taking the. I give him an acidic smile and stride from Golden Elevator up to Axel's.
I given him an acidic smile and stride from the room, taking the golden elevator up to Axel's floor. Axel's is another of the legends of cows, which is how they are called.
Floor. We always meet in his rooms when we stay in the palace. I use the ride up to steal my nerves, but it does nothing to quell the restless energy inside me. Thanks to my father's power move, I want to break something, or better yet, cut into someone. My fingers itch as I trail them over the hilts of the blade strapped beneath my jacket. How is your old man? Axel asks as I enter his room. I plop down on one of his leather sofas, kicking my feet up on a glass table. Prickish. Yours? Mirror across the. Same.
Same, Axel says, adjusting his tie in front of the mirror across the room.
Did you comb your beard? I tease. His long black.
His long black hair is secure with a leather tie. His full beard trimmed and immaculate.
Normally he looks as wild as the sea he loves so much. Choosing night, he says, a wide grin stretching his lips. I shake my head, but I feel the corner of my mouth tug up slightly, unable to stop the effect his adventurous energy has on me. It's better than the rage my father invoked. Are you even a little excited? He asks, sinking onto the couch opposite me. He reaches for the decanter in the middle of the table and pours 2 glasses of amber liquid, sliding one toward me. It's your year to pick. I take the glass, clinking it against his before throwing contents.
Trying back the contents in one gulp.
Burn is just what I need, so I pour myself another. You two about ready? Cal calls, sauntering into the room, his dark brown hair perfectly combed, his face clean shaven, looking every inch the part of the golden boy. If we hadn't grown up together, I'd probably hate him for his ability to make calm, collected, and confident look effortless. Lucky for him, I love him like he's blood. We're waiting on you and Pierce, Axel says, pouring himself another drink. It doesn't take much to make me look this damn good. He stretches his arm over the back of the couch, crossing an ankle over his knee. Cal laughs, straightening his red suit jacket. My father held me up, he says. Pierce is too. I'm here, Pierce interrupts, joining us. Did each of your fathers express the urgency of selecting correctly this year, or just mine? Cal nods. Axel groans and drops his head back dramatically. I can only smile bitterly. They've never been quite this invested in our pursuits, Pierce continues. His dark brown eyes go distant in that way they do when he's analyzing a situation. His nickname is the mind for a reason. He sees angles others don't, and has more knowledge rattling around up there than 100 Lumithist historians. Why do you suppose that is? I set down my empty glass, and the crystal clinks against the table. Badal mentioned appeasing our mother's wishes. I sigh, and a threat from Erithmore. My father mentioned the offerings too, Axel says. Did Badal refer to a particular group in Erithmore? Pierce asks. No, I answer. How vague, Pierce says, brows pinched. Axel grips the back of the couch a bit harder. What fools would have the courage to threaten the kings? That's the question, I say. We fall silent, and I immediately feel restless. What about tonight? Axel, why don't you take my pick? Why would I do that? Axel shrugs. It's your turn. Cal rounds the sofa, sitting in the furniture next to me. Pierce smoothly leans against the armrest of Axel's sofa. You know me, I say, as if that's explanation enough. I don't care either way, but if we pick right, Axel's voice trails off. Imagine, he continues, a mate strong enough to handle all of us. It'd be a fairy tale. I cut him off. Not that I haven't thought about the benefits of having a mate before, having someone who understood us in a way only a mate could. Someone who could take on all of us and beg for more. Someone who wouldn't cower in fear beneath us. Again, a fantasy. There hasn't been a potential yet who could handle each of us on our own, and not one has ever actually enjoyed our company enough to choose us. None earned our tokens, our sacred items that we'd award the potential at the end of our individual months with her, a symbol of our promise to her. We tried, though. We always try. A fuck is easy to find, but a mate? Not that I've ever fucked any of the potentials before. I left that to Axel, Pierce, and Cal. Sure, I watched, but not one of the potentials has ever been brave enough to try to seduce the nightmare. Not when they know what I can do, what I've done to anyone who has crossed me. You don't think this year will be any different, Cal says, not asking. He presses his lips together, his blue eyes going all broken hard on me. I glare at him. Maybe I'm not excited to select another potential, only for them to reject us before reaching the Athenry. Cal's shoulders drop, and I instantly regret the outburst. He's chosen twice, and both of them left the instant they could. Our mothers made the contract magically binding, but would never force anyone to love us. So they included the option to leave after a month. So many have left us then, taking their compensation and never looking back. Cal takes it the hardest out of all of us. Not that we don't all feel the sting of rejection, but that's Cal, the dreamer. His heart is his weakness, though it's about the only one he has. I haven't lost hope, he says, but a muscle in his jaw ticks. I hit a nerve, and let's face it, that's what I do. I don't want your choice, Axel says, shaking his head. You should at least see who's out there. He leans forward with his elbows on his knees and grins. You never know. This year could be different. Axel's excited energy is contagious. It's one of my favorite things about him. He's rarely ever dismayed by obstacles and is always down for anything, especially all my bad ideas. Come on, he says, standing and motioning toward a long mahogany table across the room. I commissioned new masks for the occasion. We follow him to the table. It's clear which mask is meant for each of us, though most of their design is identical. They're easily distinguishable by the gemstones set under the left eye slits that match the official colors of our cities. How
Note this detail because this detail is gonna blow your mind later on when he shoots and the girl that he shoots, which is our main character, has no idea it was him. Like how, girl? Like literally, so many things you could have picked up before being so surprised. But anyways,
says rubies, Pierce's has emeralds, and Axel's sapphires. Mine has black diamonds, a nod to my obsidian city. I run my fingers over mine, admiring the detail in the metalwork. It's a full face mask with a vertical opening from beneath the nose to below the lower lip and two horizontal ones for the eyes. The rest is covered with intricate designs that whirl toward a sharp chin. We scoop them up, sliding them over our faces in a move that almost feels rehearsed. Something shifts among us, powers snapping through the room. United and strong, the legends of chaos are something to be feared. And tonight, I suppose, the woman I select will be the least terrified of them. Axel claps me on the shoulder. I'll take your pick if you haven't found anyone by midnight. Deal? I give him a nod as we head out the door and file into the elevator. She's out there, Axel says hopefully. She has to be, Cal adds. And if she isn't, Pierce counters, always one to explore both sides. Then we go another year without our mate, I answer plainly, and risk losing our mother's protection of Lumathist.
Now get ready, girl. Get ready. Oh boy, I don't know who is listening. Get ready and pay attention because this chapter is going to be full of emotion. This is gonna be good. This is gonna be good. Really. Stay on top of it. Let's go.
Rylee, invitation. The enforcer at the gates of the palace says in a gruff tone as we stop before him. I hand mine over first, proud when my fingers don't tremble. I deserve to be here. I deserve answers. Take a pen if you agree to the contract. The enforcer holds out a silver bucket filled to the brim with glittering jeweled pins. I hesitate, but only for a second, before plucking one from the pile and securing it on my dress above my left breast. Ivy and Lace do the same. My friends are right. The money I can get from selling this after the event outweighs the risks of being selected as a potential mate. I won't go near the princes. Just like Ivy and Lace said so, I won't get chosen. Knowing I can feed a starving group of Ashlanders with the money earned from this pin makes it worth it. I glance down at the jewel-encrusted gold pin as we follow a herd of other event guests up the palace steps and inside. The large gilded base holds 4 tiny precious gemstones from the legend cities, a ruby, an emerald, a sapphire, and a black diamond. The 4 gems surround a smaller cluster of clear diamonds in the center of the pin, making up a number that is now linked to my invitation. 13. I do my best to think it's a coincidence that I drew an unlucky number and focus on the relief barreling through me as we're directed toward a hallway filled with glistening golden elevators.
By the way, 13 is my birthday. And it's not an unlucky number, it's a lucky number. Just saying.
Made it through without a hitch. Not that I ever doubted Ivy's forged invitation. I hate this part, Lace whispers as we slide into the elevator. Deep breath, Ivy says, her shoulder brushing Lace's as we're crowded into a corner. 4 other people pile in beside us, 2 giggling women our age, dressed in bright yellow dresses with sparkling masks that look like they're made from real honeybees, and an older couple that seems to be their parents. I glare at them for their lack of empathy for the creatures, knowing full well they could have used fabric for the design, like my mask. But that's Lumathis nobility for you, entitled Never Thinking Twice About a Resource Before Exploiting It. I tear my eyes from them. I wonder what it would be like to be here solely for the chance to be selected as a potential mate, and not to illegally search for answers about my missing sister. A groove appears between Lace's brows as the elevator jolts upward, moving at top speed as it carries us toward the roof of the palace. Ivy told me about it beforehand, but there's nothing quite like experiencing it for myself. I can't stop my grin at the rush, the knowledge that this tiny gold contraption now holds our lives. One break, and we'll all plummet to our deaths. I let out a small, excited laugh. Maybe I'm as mad as Turner always says I am. As everyone says. Maybe I don't care. It's easy to laugh at death when you've got nothing to lose. The twinkling lights above us flicker, and Ivy flashes me a concerned look. Lace bites her lip, her fingers gripping the rail behind her so hard, her knuckles turn white. The buzzing yellow bees beside us look our way, their mouths scrunched up, as if they can smell the lower cities on us. Or maybe they're so wealthy they look at everyone like that. The flickering intensifies, and I step in front of Lace, smoothing my cheek over hers, drawing an arm up to lean against the elevator wall. To the bees, it looks like we're embracing. Just a friendly, supportive touch. As Ivy blocks her from the other side, girls telling secrets before the big event. They can't see the air I'm spinning from my fingers, the cool breeze I'm guiding over Lace's face and into her lungs. She's always loathed tight spaces. Thank you. Lace breathes the words as the elevator stops. The bee family buzzes out the second the doors sweep open, but Ivy and I remain, not budging until we know Lace is in control. I'm good, she says, the white streaks of barely contained power in her eyes dimming as her panic ebbs. She squeezes my hand and hustles out the doors, sucking in a deep breath the second she's clear of them. Ivy and I follow her, the heels of our shoes clinking on the floor. Holy shit, I gasp, and I turn a few heads with the remark. I lower my voice, barely holding back a laugh as Ivy tugs me to the right. Power. This is what real power looks like, to make a place like this exist. We're at least 300 floors up, and the event space is a giant balcony that juts from the side of the palace. The inky sky stretches above our heads in a blanket of stars, and the floor is made entirely of glass. The surface so smooth and polished it looks like we're walking on starlight. A thrill sends shivers over my skin. The most eligible and wealthy of Lumethyst are milling about the large space, draped in red and sapphire and emerald and gold, doing their best not to look down. Fear and discomfort are evident in the tight lines of their lips, or the nervous flutter of their fingers as they talk and gossip and sip the sparkling wine being served by the royal staff. Clever, I say, following Ivy and Lace as they head right for the food. What is? Ivy asks, delicately plucking a ripe strawberry covered in fluffy cream from one of the many serving platters, scattered atop rows and rows of tables lining the balcony. I follow suit, grabbing a chocolate-covered strawberry and popping it into my mouth. I moan, unable to contain it. We never have strawberries in the Ashlands. When I come down from my high, I motion to the crystal clear floor. Intimidation, I say. Hosting the event in a space most find terrifying. Ivy and Lace are as unbothered as I am by the height and the appearance that nothing separates us from falling to our deaths. We've been in far tighter spots before and survived, like when Aaron and I concocted a plan to steal food from a duke who was hosting a party in oak and iron. Ivy and Lace had of course tagged along. We'd almost made it out with our spoils when the host spotted me and waved down a king's enforcer who'd been lingering outside. Soon we were being chased through the streets by 6 enforcers and only managed to lose them by climbing one of the nearby taller buildings and hiding on a thin balcony that had seen much better days. We laughed about it after, but it had been a close call. Still, we'd taken all that stolen food to a home of starving Ashlanders, so it'd been worth it. In comparison, walking on glass is a breeze. Ladies and gentlemen, a deep, robust voice announces over the twinkling music. Please welcome the legends of chaos. The crowd around us shifts, energy sparking with excitement and awe as 4 men emerge from a private elevator. They're each wearing a mask that's identical to over 2 dozen others worn by their entourage. But even from here, I can tell they're built like royalty, soldiers' bodies, each one cut from the same cloth. Good. Now I at least know their builds, so I can avoid them the entire night.
She saw the mask, she saw the build, and she didn't recognize the man when the man approached her. Like, how? Like, I don't understand how she didn't recognize him. I mean, she's supposed to be smart. Anyways, all right.
Your hosts for the evening. The announcer continues over the sounds of the crowd. The kings of Lumathist acid claws up my throat as I follow every single person around using the legends, and bow as the 4 immortal kings appear from the same private elevator. One is dressed in glittering gold, a smirk the only thing truly visible beneath his diamond mask. Another wears emerald green, another ruby red, and the last glimmering sapphire. They do not release us from our bows, and while hunched over, the crowd in the center of the balcony parts as the kings make their way to the opposite side, climbing a large dais and taking the 4 thrones positioned there. The one in gold, King Beta Levine, stands after they've been served drinks and finally motions for us all to rise. Bastards. It is my honor, King Badal says to the silent crowd, to welcome you all to the legend's 6th choosing. The diamonds in his mask sparkle distractingly beneath the lights. I have to squint as he scans the crowd. One of you will be chosen as their potential. A collective, hopeful energy flows through the crowd, and it's an effort not to roll my eyes. If the goddesses will it, you will be a fated mate by the winter solstice. He raises his glass and motions to the 4 legends waiting patiently at the foot of the dais. So, drink, dance, eat, converse, and may the goddesses be with you. Oh, please, I whisper as the crowd claps and raises their glasses to him. The music swirled around us once more, the chatter cacophonous, even in the exposed outdoors. A plethora of dresses swarms the legends, the women practically stepping over one another to get to them first, all not so subtly displaying their numbered pin as clearly as they can. Can't they see the way King Badal is looking at all of us? I say to Ivy, more like chattel for slaughter. And look, I nod toward the women hovering around the legends. They're flocking like good little sheep. Ivy starts.
Oh my god, she get caught so bad here. Get ready, guys. She's talking shit about the kings and about the legends, and she has no idea who is behind her. I love this part.
To respond, but a deep, languid laugh resonates behind me. The sound sends warm shivers over my skin. I glance over my shoulder, trying to be casual about it, but fail miserably when I meet a pair of indigo eyes, barely visible behind his full face mask. I feel his laugh in my bones, I can still see it in the way his eyes are smiling. I'd bet my entire wealth, which isn't much, that he's grinning beneath that mask. Whirling back around, I try to catch the breath I somehow lost. Did he hear me? I thought only Ivy could hear, but if he did and he laughed at it, that level of disrespect is grounds for both of us to be thrown in the palace dungeons. Dangerous, reckless. I'm not here to draw attention to myself. I need to be more careful. Wait. I press against Ivy's shoulder insistently, and we work her deeper into the crowd, bringing Lace with us. I want to kick myself for looking back, but I can't help it. Bodies and purple eyes find mine among the sea of masks, and my stomach flips. The man holds my gaze for a few seconds before slowly turning away. I get a glimpse of short blue-black hair, like raven's feathers, and a lithe body draped in midnight black, before he's swallowed by the crowd. See something you like? Lace teases. You should always be looking, Ivy encourages, as Lace brings to a stop in the center of the crowd. We have a perfect line of sight to the space in front of the dais. Why here? You don't want to miss the show, Lace answers. Being your first time and all. She smiles and winks at my confusion, and the magical orbs of light hovering over us dim on cue. Music softens to a barely audible hum. The kings shift on their thrones, the light flickering over their features as they eye the empty space them expectantly. Before. The tale of the four goddesses, the announcer says. Ivy and Lace mouth along to the words.
Alright, this is gonna be boring. I am kind of, yeah. Maybe I should just cut this part. I don't know. Well, this is gonna be boring. Just for you to know, this part is gonna be a little boring because it's the story of the goddesses, how they pick their mates, and how they make them immortals. But all right, let's go.
Lights erupt near the dais, as portrayed by the Ruby Air players. In the beginning, Ivy whispers in a mocking lilt under the announcer as he shifts to a narrative tone. There were four men who stood above the rest, the announcer continues, the spotlight trailing over the kings. And there were goddesses who walked among us. The lights shift to the space before the dais. Four goddesses who fell in love. You've got to be kidding me, I groaned to Ivy. We all know this story. Shh, Lace says, nudging me. Look at the costumes, the details. She gazes longingly as each actress performs on stage. Eveluna, the announcer says, is an absolutely stunning woman draped in royal blue silk and stardust. Her hair is black as night, and eyes rimmed in streaks of silver, dances in smooth movements along the stage. Goddess of the moon and stars chose King Beta Levine as her mate, imbuing him with immortality and powers the likes of which Lumethist had never seen. Tarina, he continues, goddess of earth and water, chose King Lucas Dawson, a gorgeous actress sheathed in hunter green and ocean blue glides with fluid movements onto the stage. Irdis, he says, drawing out the name like Erdes, the goddess of wisdom and time, chose King Brooks Bertrand. This actress wears purple, her hair Anne, array of beautiful curls, the symbol of a spider laid into the delicate folds of her dress. And finally, the announcer calls, and my breath catches. Neff, the goddess of sky and sun, chose King Julian Earhart. This actress is covered in gold, her hair done in a wide fan around her face, her eyes resembling the sun itself. A ad. Neph is the goddess whose gift runs through my veins. The cloud birthmark practically burns on the back of my neck as the actresses fall on their knees before the kings the goddesses once chose. I wonder, not for the first time, what the real goddesses looked like. Wonder if our goddesses would be pleased by the portrayal or offended by it. Shouldn't the kings be bowing to them, not the other way around? Together, the kings and the goddesses of Lumithis created our beloved kingdom, the announcer goes on. Together, they loved and lived in a passion that can never compare, and the goddesses walked among the people of Lumithis, blessing those they deemed worthy. But the imbalance of power became a catalyst for betrayal by their people, so the goddesses wanted to ensure their sons, their only heirs, would never suffer the same fate. They used their magic to call forth for their sons only one mate who would connect them all, to act as their tether to the people of Lumithist and ground them if their hunger for power ever grew too large. And all too soon, Lumithist suffered attacks from those overseas who wished to conquer our prosperous land. The goddesses were heartbroken. They did not want their young sons to grow up during a bloody war, and so they sacrificed their current lives, putting themselves to sleep, using their inherent powers to act as protective wards against those enemies who would threaten their mates and their sons' future. The goddesses on the stage fold in on themselves, sadness coloring their features, but I barely see them. Instead, I see the kings poised on their thrones, the four legends still near the dais before them, surrounded by wealth. I see no hint of sadness in the king's eyes, no ounce of regret or longing. They don't look like mates being reminded of those they lost. They look like men with the power of the goddesses intent on doing anything. Why would the goddesses go to sleep when they could have likely created wards on their own? Part of the story always rubbed me the wrong way, working tirelessly to ensure, and so it has been with the king's Lumithis prospers. The story progresses, but I shake my head. The only reason they have any wealth is because those beneath them dig it out for them at the expense of their backs. I mutter under my breath. Lace gasps at my side, eyes darting around to see if anyone heard me. But a familiar laugh sounds again, this time right behind me, right in my ear, and a shudder runs down my body. The deep masculine voice says, I turn around, looking up into those indigo eyes. I bet it gets you into.
I don't know about you, but at this point, I already knew that this man that was behind her all the time, she was saying something she wasn't supposed to say, was one of the legends. I mean, obviously, he is. I don't understand why she doesn't realize it. I mean, she's looking straight at his face, like, and she's like right next to him. How she doesn't see it? I don't know. Anyways,
I turn around, looking up into those indigo eyes. I bet it gets you into all kinds of trouble, he whispers. And this time I can't tell if he's smiling or intrigued or offended. The metal mask covers too much of his face. Maybe it does, I say as the play continues behind me. Who's asking? I arch a brow and feel my black butterfly mask rise with the movement. His eyes roam over my face, down my neck, over my body, lingering on my pin for a few seconds. No one important, he says, then nods past me to the play.
she saw him standing up there, showing to everybody else who he was. Then she hacked him. right next to her. She looked at him like very in a very detailed way, and he didn't realize it was him.
You don't seem to agree with the pageantry. The pageantry is fine, I say, turning back to the show. I feel him move closer behind me, and something inside me stretches toward him like a cat begging for attention. I don't have time for this, whatever this is, but I can't deny that I like it. It's been a while since I felt that spark with someone, that itch to discover and touch and play, and I haven't even seen this one's face. Beautiful, even, I say, watching as the goddesses on the stage appear to turn to stone. It's the writing that bothers me. Ivy flashes me a warning look. A low, amused murmur rumbles in his chest, and I swear I feel it between my thighs. Who is he? Are you a writer? He asks. I admit. Then what bothers you about it? I swallow hard. Telling the truth is grounds for imprisonment. I've already run my mouth past its allowance tonight. Is it the romance? He whispers in my ear when I don't answer. I can feel the heat of him, can smell his smoke and leather scent as it curls around my body. The history? Or is it the unbelievable parts that are hard to swallow? Him. He's so close, my. Surprise blitz through me, and I glance back at lips almost brush his mask, but then again we're all crowded together. Which unbelievable parts? I whisper. There are so many, and Ivy and Lace clap along with the rest. The performance ends of the crowd, goddesses blessing the people of. He could be talking about the Lumathist and making them Demis for no reason, or the fact that they fell in love and chose non-gods as their mates, beloved sons for the sake. The part where the goddesses leave there of a threat they could have easily wiped out with half a thought, he says under the sound of the crowd's approval. Could be.
But this is reading all wrong. So he asked her, which unbelievable part? No. She asked him, which unbelievable part? I whisper. There are so many. The performance ends and Ivy and Lace clap along with the rest of the crowd. He could be talking about the goddess's blessing, the people of Lumatis and making them demis for no reason, or the fact that they fell in love and choose non-gods as their mates. The part where the goddesses leave their beloved sons for the sake of a threat they could have easily wiped out with half a thought, he says, under the sound of the crowd's approval. Shock tightens my skin.
Shock tightens my skin. He shared my thoughts on our kingdom's
Alright.
founding.
He could be baiting me, or he could merely share my thoughts on our kingdom's founding mythology.
He shared my thought. Either way, I can't take the risk. As much as my body is begging me to keep talking to him, keep standing near him, keep inhaling that intoxicating scent and getting lost in those indigo eyes, I didn't come here for that. Gossip and laugh and flirt.
She's already down. She's already like, man, fuck me right here, right now. I didn't come here for that. It's not to eat and drink and dance, to gossip and laugh and flirt. I'm here to find my sister, or at least discover where she went.
I'm here to find my sister, or at least discover where she went. So I turn around and give him my best, most nothing smile. No honorable citizen of Lumathist would say or agree with such heresy, I say. Who says I'm an honorable citizen? The words send lightning through my veins. Well, I most certainly am, I managed to say, my voice cracking slightly. Honorable citizen of Loop, I'm here to find my sister, or at least discover where she went. So I turn around and give him my best, most nothing smile. No honorable citizen of Lumathist would say or agree with such heresy, I say. Who says I'm an honorable citizen? The Well, I most certainly am, I managed to say, my voice cracking slightly, and I must do my duty. I bow slightly to him and submit myself to the legends as a potential choice. With all the other sheep, I'm already backing away, but I don't break his then wink at him before whirling. I'm already backing away, but I don't break his then.
Gaze. No, 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 no. This thing is eating up the best parts. Anyways, those A's grin like a cat catching a canary. With all the other sheeps, he asked her. I'm already backing away, but I don't break his gaze. Bah! I say, then she did. She did like a fucking shit. She did the ship sound. I'm already backing away, but I don't break his gaze. Bah! I say, then wink at him before whirling around and losing myself in the crowd. All right.
Him before whirling.
This is I can't. Oh my god. I can't. She really did it.
With all the other sheep, I'm already backing away, but I don't break his then wink at him before whirling around and losing myself in the crowd.
Chapter 6. Gonna make a break here.